Hey everyone, welcome to Wealth Redefined. I'm your host, Michael Reynolds, certified financial planner and owner of Elevation Financial on the web at, you guessed it, elevationfinancial.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're talking side hustles, a comprehensive guide to starting a side hustle and making money. So this has come up in conversations a lot recently. So when it comes to personal finance, some concepts are very simple. One example of this is cash flow. So I'm sometimes asked questions like, what should I do if I'm living paycheck to paycheck and can't seem to save money? There's really only two answers to this question, and they're very simple. One is lower expenses or increase income. That's the other one. Again, when someone's living paycheck to paycheck, they've probably already cut expenses to a minimum. And so I don't always like to immediately jump there. Now, of course, we're going to look at things like, okay, do you really have some expenses that you can cut? Are there some things that are, negotiable items? But in general, let's assume that, expenses are already what they are, difficult to change those. The other part of the equation is increase income. Now, I want to stress that increasing your income is not easy. There's no shortage of noise online that's promoting lots of ways to make tons of money if you just buy this amazing course or, figure out this secret that the rich know and you don't, and you have to pay for it or whatever. There's lots of scams out there. Anything that promises you easy results or some magical secret system is likely over-promising and possibly scamming you. So it's not easy to increase your income. This is not easy. And I also want to note that it's important to avoid buying into the toxic hustle culture that shames people into burning themselves out to try to meet some impossible expectation of what entrepreneurship should look like. So I want to make sure I set those caveats out first. But that said, starting a side hustle can be a very viable path to breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. A well-planned and intentional side hustle can make a huge difference in your cash flow and can give you the ability to start to get ahead in your finances without quitting your day job. So how do you get started? That's what we're going to talk about today. So first, I want to talk about choosing a business idea. So sometimes the hardest part of starting a side hustle is deciding what your business will be. So here's my first piece of advice. Keep it simple. One mistake I see that many, many people make when starting a business is overcomplicating it. They think they need to create the next big app or have some grand idea or create a whole new product or service that is unique and special. Don't do this. You're starting a side hustle to make money. Choose something simple. Choose something that's already being done. Choose something that already has a market and that people understand. Starting a business is hard enough. The last thing you want to do is make it even more difficult by doing something that requires lots of effort to build a market for it. There's lots of opportunities to build a side hustle around needs that are already in demand. Lots of categories, for example, home services, childcare services, business services, marketing services, consulting, concierge services, teaching or tutoring. There's lots of different categories that are already in demand. There's already a market for these things. So don't reinvent the wheel and overcomplicate it. Pick something that has a market that is simple. Also, notice that all these categories I mentioned are service businesses. So while a product business can work, it generally requires more overhead, which means cost and materials, and can be a lot harder to get off the ground. So that's why I tend to favor service businesses if you want to spin up something quickly as a side hustle to start making money fast. So your goal in starting the side hustle is, again, start to make money fast. So a simple service business is a really good way to get off the ground quickly and start generating income as soon as possible with little to no upfront cost. So if you need some ideas to get the ball rolling, there is a list on my website of easy to launch service business ideas for some inspiration. Look on my blog and you'll find that as well. All right, got some comments coming in from Annie. Annie on LinkedIn says, you can't do it alone though, can you? Not sure quite how to interpret that, Annie. I love the fact that you stopped by and posted a comment, so I appreciate you stopping by. I think you can do it alone. Starting a business on your own is what most people do. So I would say, if you want to elaborate on the comment, Annie, I'd love to hear more about what you mean by that. So, doing it alone is one thing. Also, you can do it with a partner or with help. So let me know what you're thinking when you mention that. I'd love to hear more and maybe provide more feedback. So let's talk about forming your business entity. Let's say you pick something, you've got an idea, your next step is to form your business entity. There's no one size fits all, but I'm generally in favor of starting an LLC. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company, and it's a very simple, low cost business structure that is very common for startups and small businesses. Um, in most states, the cost to start an LLC is pretty minimal. It can be $50, it can be up to a few $100s. Some states like California, for example, charge quite a bit more. Last time I checked, California's LLC fee was $800. So that's sort of an edge case, though. So you'll need to decide if it makes sense for you. If the cost of an LLC is prohibitive, you can start your business as a sole proprietorship, which is often free or very low cost because a sole proprietorship doesn't really generally require any sort of formal paperwork. But you'll want to review your state, county, and city guidelines for your specific situation. So for a more in-depth look at whether an LLC makes sense for you, there is an article on my website again about, actually it's a podcast episode on, deciding if an LLC is right for you. I think it actually is an article and a podcast episode. So check for that too on my website if you want to dig into that nuance. So we'll assume for this discussion that you're forming an LLC. It's very low friction to form an LLC. It's a great choice for the vast majority of startups and small businesses. So let's assume it's an LLC. You can form your LLC by going to the Secretary of State website in your state, and then you fill out a basic online form to file your LLC online. Once your LLC is filed, most states will have this done for you within a few days, and then you'll want to get an EIN, which stands for Employer Identification Number. This is your tax ID for your business. So while you technically can use your social security number for your business, I don't recommend it. An EIN gives you legitimacy and also some privacy because you don't have to give your social security number out for certain things. And most banks are going to require an EIN when you set up a business bank account. Fortunately, the EIN is free. You can get one by applying for an EIN on the IRS website. Go to irs.gov/EIN. It takes about 10 minutes, and your EIN will be issued immediately. So be sure to save your LLC documents and your EIN letter in your business files, and you'll need them for various activities in the future. I'm going to jump back to the LinkedIn comments here. Annie followed up and said, it's totally new to me. Awesome. Thanks for the follow-up, Annie. Appreciate it. Yeah, if starting a business is new to you, reach out. I'm happy to help, happy to answer questions. A lot of information on my website and in my podcast about starting a business. But if you have any questions or need some help, definitely reach out if this is new. Many people starting a business feel like it's a little bit scary. It is new to them. So happy to answer anyone's questions beyond this episode about, how to start a business, maybe where you get stuck. Just send me a note. All right, next, let's talk about setting up your systems. Now that your side hustle's up and running officially, you've got your LLC, your business idea, your EIN, you're official, you're legit. You'll need a few tools and systems to operate. So the first thing you're going to need is a domain name and email address. The domain is the something.com that people will eventually use to get to your website. But the more immediate need, however, is professional email. Now, can you get by without this stuff? Yeah, but I think it's a good idea, and it's so low cost that I would definitely strongly consider getting a domain name and getting business email set up. So you'll want to establish that professional email address that includes your domain name. So registering your domain is the first thing. You can go to various registrars like GoDaddy or Google Domains or Namecheap. They're pretty cheap, like $10 to $12 a year is pretty typical. And then once you register your domain, you can set up an email account. This is important because from this point on, I would recommend using your business email address for the other tools that you set up. So the two most popular and reliable email providers that I'm a fan of are Google Workspace and Microsoft 365. Both services will give you an email account as well as cloud storage and calendaring. I'm a Google fan, so I go with Google Workspace. I don't use Microsoft 365. I don't even know quite how to use it, but I know the features are similar. A lot of people I know use it and it works just fine. So, either one will do the job. The next thing you need to do is establish your business bank account. While you technically can use your personal bank account for business, it's really not ideal, and I recommend against it. So using a separate business bank account for your business will give you numerous advantages that can help you maintain organization, compliance, professional credibility, including simplified bookkeeping. A separate account helps you track your business expense and income much more easily. You've got a clear separation of personal and business finances. Helps prevent mingling of personal and business funds. Easier for tax preparation. Again, those reports, the bookkeeping, expenses, gives you a professional image. Having that dedicated business bank account gives you a more professional image. Also limits personal liability. So it helps keep that separation between your LLC and your personal assets. Some business banks also offer features that are business specific, which can be a perk, and fraud protection. So, often business bank accounts have stronger fraud protection, and that separation is also helpful when you protect your personal assets from business fraud potentially. So overall, the separation of your bank accounts is very important in my opinion. So you want to have that separate business bank account. So when you're choosing a business bank account, look for a bank that has great online banking first. That's a must for me anyway. And you'll want to make sure it integrates with other tools that are easy to use. Like, for example, does it integrate with QuickBooks and other stuff that you might use? The most important feature to me is to make sure that your business bank offers free ACH payments. ACH payments are electronic payments, which allow you to pay yourself, as well as transfer money online to other recipients. So this is how you're going to pay yourself. We'll talk about this more in a minute. You also need a way to get paid. So once you set all this up, you want a system that will help you get paid and invoice clients. So the two most popular tools for sending invoices and taking payments right now are QuickBooks Online and Wave. There's other stuff out there too. There's FreshBooks, some other stuff, but QuickBooks Online and Wave, they come up a lot. I use both of them. So QuickBooks Online is the leader in bookkeeping and invoicing, but not everybody finds it easy to use. And it also comes with a cost. So, you might consider that, but also some accountants will recommend against using the self-employed version of QuickBooks Online. So you might want to spring for the next level up. I'm a big fan of Wave. Wave is a great alternative because it's easy to use and it's free. Wave is a great system for startups, small businesses, side hustles, because again, it's free. So the price is right. And it lets you invoice and take payments online all with one system. So big fan of Wave. Either tool is going to let you invoice clients and take payments with credit card or e-check. So it's really important to have this ability in place for professionalism and to make it easy to get paid. So at this point, you're ready to do business. You've got a business email account, business bank account, system for invoicing and getting paid. Ideally, this is where you start getting clients. Many people get stuck here because they start overthinking everything. Don't overcomplicate it. Set your prices, start doing business. You can always change things later, and I guarantee you will change things later. But the fastest way to learn and make your business better is to start serving clients. So whatever it is that you do, if it's dog walking, if it's babysitting, if it's website building, if it's lawn care, whatever it is, just start doing it. Just set a price, pick a price that seems a little under the market price, make it easy to say yes to you, start getting clients. Just do something. You'll figure it out much better if you can just start serving clients and doing business. So this brings up to marketing your business. Our next section here, how do you get clients? So here's the caveat. The amount of information and training available on marketing your business is overwhelming. It's impossible to offer a magic solution to getting clients in this episode. However, a few principles to keep in mind are, one, you first want to make sure your online presence is solid. So, get a simple website for your business. Use one of the following tools, like something like Squarespace, Wix or Weebly. All of these services will let you build a simple website quickly, very inexpensively, possibly even free if you don't mind some of the branding on there. You don't need something elaborate. Just describe your services, get a way to contact you out there. You can always upgrade later as you grow. Next, you want to tap into your social circle. Send a simple message to close friends and family. Let them know you started a business and you would love some help getting the word out. Post on social media, letting your connections know about your new business. The key is to keep it really simple and personal. Don't write it like an ad or like a sales message. That turns people off. Try something like this. Hey, everyone. I wanted to let my network know I've started a new business doing fill in the blank, whatever your business is. I would love some help spreading the word. If you could help me out by telling your friends and family about me, I would appreciate it. You can find out more on my website at, something.com. That's it. Something simple. You can expand on it a little bit, describe maybe what you do and how you help people, but make it very factual. Just ask for help spreading the word. That's all you need to do to start with. So I think, if you have chosen a business that is simple and has a market, you might be surprised at how quickly you can get a few referrals just by, putting a message out to people like that. Remember, your point is not to build the best marketing system ever right now. It's to get a few clients. Then get those clients to start referring you. Once you get the ball rolling, you can focus more on elaborate marketing later. Just get some clients. All right. So Annie is following up with a few more comments here on LinkedIn. Annie said, I heard of people not getting clients and getting frustrated and eventually shutting it down. Yeah, that does happen. I'm glad you brought this up because it takes patience sometimes. So when you're starting a side hustle, starting a new business, it can take time. If you don't get clients in the first couple of weeks, don't get frustrated. Assuming you've chosen a business that is viable, it's simple, has a market, easy to understand, has some demand in your area or your market. It doesn't have to be geographical. It could be a virtual business in the whole country or the world. But point is, don't get frustrated too early. If all these things are true, if the market is viable, give it time. It does take time to get up and running. So I would encourage you to have persistence if you believe in your target market and your business. All right, let's talk about paying yourself. How do you get paid? This is the fun part. Once you start making money, you get to pay yourself. All of your income from your business should be going into your business bank account. Then to pay yourself, you simply transfer money from your business bank account into your personal bank account. This is called an owner's draw, and it's the self-employed equivalent of a paycheck. So you'll do this by setting up a payee profile in your business bank account that sends money by ACH into your personal bank account. So as you get started, you're going to want to leave a buffer in your business account to cover future expenses, which should be pretty low at this point, but have a buffer in there. But as you get more business, you can start to pay yourself every month from your business profits. So get in a rhythm and get used to paying yourself. One thing a lot of business owners are really terrible at is paying themselves. Make sure your business should operate to make money for you. So pay yourself on a regular basis, on a consistent schedule. Get that money into your personal account. Next, paying taxes. As you start to make money, you'll need to think about taxes. So when you're self-employed, your compensation does not include tax withholding. That owner's draw does not have taxes withheld. That means you are responsible for setting aside and paying taxes on your own. Self-employed individuals are typically required to pay taxes on a quarterly basis. So as you start to make more money, you'll need to start setting aside about 25 to 30% of your business income for taxes and then pay those taxes on a quarterly basis. So there's a guide on my website called Everything You Need to Know About Quarterly Estimated Taxes. So if you want, feel free to go reference that. It goes in great detail about quarterly estimated taxes. But here's the shortened summary. Get a separate bank account, a personal bank account. Start putting about 25 to 30% of whatever you pay yourself in owner's draw over to that account every time you pay yourself. And start using that as an account to build up enough money to pay those quarterly taxes on time. It gets a little more complicated as you make more money because you're taxed technically on your business profits, not what you pay yourself through owner's draw. So, but again, starting out, it's a decent way to get started. As you make more money, then you can revisit. It gets more complicated, but just start off that way to keep it simple. And this is, again, assuming you're paying most of your business profits out to yourself. If you start retaining a ton of money in your business account that you're going to be taxed on but not receiving, then you got to kind of rethink things. All right, sustaining and growing your side hustle. Let's wrap up with just some closing thoughts. So first of all, congratulations, you have a side hustle. It's a great feeling to make money as a business owner. It's an awesome feeling. So you're in control of your business. You get to be your own boss. Has its ups and downs, but ultimately it can be a great way to build wealth. And in this case, just improve your cash flow to give yourself some room to start saving and investing and break the cycle of paycheck to paycheck. So as you grow, remember a few principles. First, keep it simple. As you make more money, you might be tempted to add complexity to your business, like adding services, hiring employees. These things aren't bad, but keeping a bias towards simplicity in your business will serve you well. So keep it simple. Next, avoid debt. It can be really tempting to try to grow by taking on debt, loans, credit cards. Don't do this. Let your side hustle grow organically. Slower and debt-free is a much better way to grow. Next, set pricing to get clients. Your first priority should be getting clients. Make it easy for them to say yes by offering low prices at first. You can always raise your prices later. This brings us to the next point. The next point is raise your prices when you start to get too busy. Once you do reach the point of getting overwhelmed, don't wait to raise your prices. Do it promptly so you can make more money without burning yourself out too quickly. So a caveat with these points in mind, if you're looking to grow quickly, price to win business, but remember that doing so sets an anchor in what those same clients will expect to pay in the future. Conversely, if you're trying to minimize your time and maximize profit, Then maybe you want to price for ideal clients, which is higher pricing, and grow more slowly to keep your side hustle time commitment lower. So, whatever your goals are, keep that in mind, but don't be afraid to be fluid and adapt. And stay focused on what the additional income is for. You started a side hustle to make more money. Use that money toward your goals, pay yourself, build up your emergency fund, invest in your retirement accounts. Remember why you're doing this. Can this grow into a full-time business and you can quit your day job eventually? Yeah, maybe. It's possible. But your immediate goal, at least in the context of this discussion, is to make more money, just to increase your overall income, to help you have some breathing room in your cash flow to meet your goals. That's what you're focused on. So ultimately, starting a side hustle can really improve your financial situation quickly and give you some additional opportunities also for personal growth and skill development. It's just fun, hopefully, by supplementing your income, a side hustle really empowers you to achieve those financial goals more quickly, maybe reduce debt, save for future goals. Also, it can be a creative outlet. I mean, beyond just the money part, it can be fun, help build connections, open new doors, new career paths. So ultimately, it has a lot of benefits beyond just the making money. But of course, the goal here with side hustle is to increase your income. So, but with that, I think there's a lot of ways that it can enhance your overall life experience and opportunities as well. So, as I mentioned before, this is not easy. I want to be very careful of avoiding, toxic hustle culture and, that sort of mindset. But I'm also a big fan of starting a simple side hustle if you want to make, $2,000 extra per month, maybe more. That can be game changing. If you're kind of stuck in a low cash flow situation, 1 to 2,000 a month can make a massive difference. And it's not that difficult to get there if you have the time, the patience, persistence, and you choose a simple, marketable business idea. Um, I should caveat that I said it's not that hard, but it's not that easy either. I want to make sure I'm very clear. This is not easy. Starting a business or a side hustle is not easy. So you got to have persistence. You got to have patience. You've got to understand that it's going to take effort, work, and time and patience. But again, you don't have to make that much more money sometimes to really change the trajectory of your personal financial goals. So with that, always happy to hear from you as usual. Feel free to reach out if you want to discuss this or have any questions about it or anything additional or anything at all. My website is elevationfinancial.com. You can reach out there and let me know if you have any questions. You can send a note through my website or you can book a complimentary money session, and I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. All right. With that, thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.